Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Rob's Rig. So you just bought yourself a brand new Jeep Wrangler, and now, given what you're hearing out there and the reputation, honestly, of Jeeps, you're starting to wonder, what's the most likely thing or things to go wrong with your new ride? I've been wondering the same thing. You know, what should you look out for, right? So I thought I'd do a little search, get some real world experiences or opinions of what can go wrong with the new Jeep Wrangler rather. So let's pull this up, take a look here. What I searched was simply what's most likely to go wrong. It says on modern current generation Jeep Wranglers, the JL platform, which is this, the most likely things to go wrong involve electrical glitches, something you never want, steering system issues, body corrosion, still today, and specific hybrid battery vulnerabilities if you chose the 4xe model. It says, while historical mechanical issues like the death wobble have been mitigated on brand new factory builds, modern tech and material choices have introduced a new set of common problem points. So what are they? Under the category of electrical glitches and battery drain. Modern Wranglers are packed with complex computer networks and are highly sensitive. Well, what vehicle isn't these days, right? Everything out there has got some kind of computer system or something in it, right? Particularly that one you see sitting there, but it doesn't seem to have problems. It says here, infotainment freezing. The Uconnect touchscreen system is known for random blackout, freeze, or it drops Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connections. This is something I've experienced in every Jeep that I've had, except for a previous Jeep Gladiator. What I'm talking about is when you get in, turn it on, and the screen is black. It's weird. It's like it's a Mopar thing. And I don't know if it's some sort of an update, a reset, truly a glitch, I'm not sure. It's always happened to me, except for that one Gladiator, in every version I've had, and only one time. After the initial blackout, everything was fine. I remember years ago I had a Ram Rebel, and that had a digital gauge cluster. I was at a gas station, I turned the truck on after getting gas, and everything was blacked out. Turned it off, waited, I don't know, 10 seconds, not long, I'm impatient. Turned it back on and everything was back up and it never happened again. Who knows? Dual battery failure. This is a huge problem. I have experienced this myself. I know people who have experienced this as well. Non-hybrid Wranglers use an auxiliary battery hidden under the main battery, actually under the fuse panel there, to run the auto stop system, the bane of all systems for all vehicles that have it. When this small battery prematurely dies, it secretly drains the main battery, leaving drivers stranded with a completely dead vehicle. I've never been stranded, but I've had the drain, and it is a horrid system. If Jeep had to put it in, or any other manufacturer, why in the hell did they not put it up above where it's readily and easily accessible? Instead, you either have to pull that fuse panel top off, which who wants to do that? Talk about potential for electrical gremlins. Or you have to remove the tire if you want to have space. It can be done without doing it because I've done it. But you remove the tire, remove the inner fender well, and then in a tight space up above you can see a square panel with 3 or 4, I forget, nuts that you take off, or screws, and then the whole battery comes down. Still attached, by the way, so now while you're dangling it in the air, and it's relatively heavy, even though it's small, it's really like the size of a, I don't know, a lawnmower battery or maybe a motorcycle battery. Nonetheless, you've got to disconnect the terminals, take the wires off before you can pull that damn thing off. I mean, it is a pain. And I think the dealership charges somewhere I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, about $800 to replace that stupid battery. And it's not cheap. It's a couple $100 or a little bit more. Anyway, it's a horrible system. It is still a problem. I'm hoping that since now the government is not mandating auto stop, it'll be removed altogether and no longer will new buyers have to deal with it. Doesn't help me out or you if you've got a current Jeep, but nonetheless. Next up, loose fuses. This is idiotic. A surprising number of brand new Wranglers leave the factory with loose fuses and relays in the engine bay fuse box. Why? This is such a simple thing. They should have one person that just runs down the line, I guess, and pushes all the fuses in with their finger to make sure that they're tight. Such a stupid, unnecessary problem to have that could be easily solved. Unbelievable. Next up, vague steering and suspension wear. The Wrangler utilizes a heavy-duty solid front axle setup designed for off-roading rather than highway precision. Steering wonder, number one. New owners frequently complain about loose or wandering steering at highway speeds, requiring constant micro corrections to stay in the lane. I haven't noticed this really on any recent last 4 or 5 year Jeep that I've had, and I've had a few Wranglers and Jeep Gladiators, so I don't know if that really is a problem, but it's stated people must still be experiencing it, right? Number two, premature suspension wear. If you intend to take it off-road or modify it with heavy aftermarket wheels and tires, components like ball joints, tie rods, and steering stabilizers wear out much faster than other standard SUVs. Probably not a fair comparison because I doubt that other SUV owners are putting on heavier, bigger, giant tires like people do with the Jeeps. But nonetheless, if you're going to do that, you probably are going to run into suspension problems sooner or later, things that are going to wear quicker because of that weight. Paint bubbling, galvanic corrosion. One of the most persistent issues on modern Wranglers involves the exterior body panels. Still, number one, hinge and door corrosions. Jeep uses aluminum doors and hoods mated to steel hinges. If the factory barrier, paint, primer, whatever, between those two metals fails, galvanic corrosion occurs. Two metals that are not really good together, right? This causes the paint to bubble faster and flake off around the hinges, hood latches, and lower door edges. I have heard of this myself. I've never experienced it though. Cabin water leaks. Because the Wrangler features a fully removable roof, both hardtop and soft top variants, and removable doors, water management is an ongoing issue. I think that's just the nature of having something with so many panels that come off. It's too bad that it can't be engineered in such a way that that's not an issue, but it apparently is. Weather stripping failure. It is common for rubber seals around the A-pillars, freedom panels, or door frames to pinch, degrade, or misalign. This results in water pooling in the footwell after a heavy rain or even a car wash. Not much you can do about that, unfortunately. Even if they have a system that works really, really well, when you're constantly taking panels off and putting them back on, there's room for error. You can pinch things, misalign as you put things back on. It's unfortunate, but I think it's kind of a fact of owning a Jeep, right? Lastly, and I don't know, does anybody actually buy these? 4xe plug-in hybrid vulnerabilities. Let's see, it says here, battery and software recalls. The 4xe platform has faced major safety recalls regarding high voltage battery short circuits and fire risks. That alone would be enough for me to not buy one. Who wants to buy a new vehicle and have it burn up in your garage, killing or destroying your whole house or your driveway? Let's see, fuel oil refresh mode, form. This is something I haven't heard of. The hybrid software frequently forces the vehicle into a protective refresh mode to burn off unburnt fuel in the engine oil. While not technically a mechanical breakdown, it locks the vehicle into gas-only power for days or weeks at a time, entirely defeating the purpose of an electrical battery. Yeah, if you're buying one because of its electrical component or feature, you surely don't want it to be disabled because of something the vehicle does by design to burn off gas in the oil. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Anyway, those are just a few things that are most likely to go wrong with your new Jeep Wrangler, or maybe a couple years used. Leave a comment. Have you ever experienced any of these things? I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.